Another vocab question, another time to just dive into the passage, see if we can come up with anything from the passage itself that will help us understand what that blank is going to be before we look at the answer choices. The güiro, a musical instrument traditionally made from a dried and hollowed gourd, is thought to have originated with the Taíno people of Puerto Rico. Players use a wooden stick to scrape along ridges cut into the side of the gourd, creating sounds that are highly blank. The sounds produced by güiros can differ based on the distance between the ridges, the types of strokes the player uses, and the thickness of the gourd. To me, the most important thing in this passage is the colon. This is a dead giveaway that we are about to kind of follow up on something we just said. So it's a little annoying that we said something, but it's got a blank, so we don't actually know what we've said. But then the colon is telling us we're about to repeat what we just said, right? It's a very clear way for the SAT to relate two ideas together. They're going to be similar ideas in some way. So as I was reading that part after the colon, I was looking for some sort of adjective that I could then put into the blank, and the word differ is perfect. So I'm thinking that this blank is going to be something like that this instrument creates sounds that are highly different. Now, that could mean different things, all right? It could mean that they're different from each other, different types of sounds that the same instrument is emitting, or maybe it's different from other types of instruments. I don't really know at this point, but I'm not going to overthink it. I see this word that they're clearly trying to get me to pay attention to in this part after the colon, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's look at the choices and see if anything kind of means different. That's probably a good sign. So overlooked, no, that's adding some sort of connotation that we don't have here. It's not like people didn't know about this instrument. I mean, I didn't know about it, but I'm not allowed to use my own personal knowledge or lack thereof to answer the question. It needs to be stated in here. So if something's overlooked, it's like we don't really care about it or we ignore it. So that's just not what we're talking about when we say different. Powerful, again, it could be a powerful sound. I don't really know, but that's not said. We don't have any evidence backing that up. And if something is routine, then that probably means it's not different. It means it's consistent. So that seems to just mean the opposite of what we want, but variable fits perfectly. And here we do understand more deeply what the meaning is supposed to be. The sounds are different varieties of kind of the same sound that this instrument produces, right? Depending on the type of strokes, the ridges, all those things. So this instrument produces a wide variety of noises that differ from each other. So that's great. That fits with what we said, and it matches perfectly with the word that the SAT is basically pointing to with that colon. So look for that. That is not a coincidence. And the SAT creates vocab questions that involve colons a lot, and also a very similar word is the word this. It functions the same way. It's to say, hey, that thing we just talked about, this is important. That is something you should go back and look at because we're probably going to mention it again. And that repetition is all that these questions are about. We are not picking words randomly here, words that we like. There's always a reason, and repetition is probably the easiest way we can find a reason to pick one of the answers that's going to fit best in that line.